So to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure what I'm doing here. You guys all run very substantial practices. You've been in the business a long time. In terms of investments and how to manage portfolios and everything, I suspect you pretty much got your ducks in a row, right? Yes, no? All right. So what I wanted to talk about, I didn't really want to get into the numbers or the investments and anything, because that's boring, and we're right after lunch, and you're probably going to nod off anyway. So I want to play the odds here. What I wanted to do was tell stories. And not so much investment stories, but stories about how we at Commonwealth and I have tried to take advantage of difficult times. As far as I'm concerned, and I'm sure you know this already, this is when we earn our money. As advisors, it's easy when times are good. Everybody's a genius. I know I was incredibly smart in the late 90s. I was even smarter in the 2000s. I have been an absolute genius for most of the past 10 years, right? Or maybe not. It's when times get tough that, in fact, we earn our money. And what I've seen over and over again, from both my seat and our advisors' seats, is what it takes to take those tough times, to take those lemons and turn them into lemonade. See what I did there? You get that? All right. That's the kind of original insight you can count on from me. And from my perspective, there have been a number of blow-ups in the market, stuff we could not have seen coming. Some of it we could see coming. The housing crisis in 2008. Yeah, I saw that. They actually started calling me Eeyore because I kept calling it out. My only real defense is that I was right. But how bad it got, nobody knew. The pandemic, nobody knew. And what I've learned, because I'm kind of at the epicenter of the financial aspects of it, is there's three things we need to do. We need to be accessible. We need to communicate. And we need to offer solutions. And none of this should come as too much of a surprise to people who are running practices the size of yours. But I think it's maybe useful to talk about how we've done this at Commonwealth. Because talking to a bunch of advisors, not every organization handled it in the way that we did. So hopefully this will give you something to think about the next time things blow up, which, looking at the crypto market, could be this afternoon. So what do we do? What do I mean when I say accessible? At the start of the pandemic, we sent out the personal cell phone numbers of every Commonwealth partner to every advisor. We figured if they needed to talk to us, we wanted to be able to talk to them. That worked. I got a lot of calls, especially being the investment guy. I got a lot of calls. I got calls during the day. I got calls at night. My wife was not best pleased. Doesn't matter. You have to be accessible. Beyond that, though, you can only talk to one person at a time on your cell phone. You got to be able to talk to everybody, so we set up a weekly call for Commonwealth advisors. Every week, my team and I would go through, we would scrape the medical data, we would scrape the projections, we would run new financial and economic models, and I would get on there and I would talk to advisors in real time and say, this is what we have, this is what we're thinking. And you know what? A lot of the time we were wrong, but it didn't matter that it changed over time. Because what mattered was we could give our advisors the support. We could let them know what we were thinking and why. As an advisor, and I have clients myself, I do the same thing. I want them to know what I'm thinking. I want them to know why I'm thinking of it. I want to be accessible, but I don't want to wait for them to reach out to me. I want to reach out and communicate with them. Then, of course, there's the last piece, actually offering solutions. As advisors, you know this better than me. What is your problem? You need to keep your clients steady. You need to keep your clients in investment solutions that work for them. And you need to get your clients to the goals. Well, the communication piece helps keep your clients steady. I talk to clients all the time. We put out pieces. Whenever there's anything that needs to be communicated to clients, we are there. You could do it yourselves. Our advisors could do it themselves. They're smart people. But if one advisor asks for something, we're probably going to put it out. If two advisors ask for something, we are certainly going to put it out. Because they shouldn't have to do it. And that's the point. And as far as solutions go, we have our Select program, and that's great. And we manage about, well, it was $12 billion. Now it's about $10 billion. I haven't checked today. But we make that publicly available. If you want a solution, it's available. And when you look at what happened during the pandemic, we got lucky. We actually rebalanced pretty much on the exact day that the market bottomed. Are we that good? No. Did we get lucky? Yes. But did we get lucky for the right reasons? We did. And it's not just about my world. It's not just about my world. At the start of the pandemic, we got everybody, all of our advisors, a subscription to Zoom. We could see that it was coming. We were going to help it out. This isn't a sales pitch, or okay, it is a sales pitch. But it's not just a sales pitch, I hope. I mean, normally I'm on the investment side. I'm one of the numbers guys. I'm part of the sales prevention team. That being the case, what I'm telling you is just what we did and why. And I was told the theme of this was going to be the future of advice. And from my perspective, there is no future. There's just now. When we talk about things like that, we talk about the tools we have. We talk about the toys, social media, and everything. For me, as an advisor and as somebody who supports advisors, makes your lives easier and better, it's all about being accessible when you need me. Everybody on my team is accessible. True story, many years ago, I was giving a talk at our chairman's conference. And I was going through, and I was pretty pleased with myself, and I asked for questions. Gentleman raised his hands. I said, yeah, Nick. He said, Brad, this is useless. Okay, thanks, Nick. What do you want? He said, I want to be able to put your team on my website. I want people to know that they work for me. And I looked at him, and I looked over at our chief compliance officer, who was sitting in the third row, and I smiled at him. And our CCO put his head in his hands. And I said, yeah, Nick, we can do that. We're here to give what our advisors need. And you're here to give what your clients need. And as long as you do that, I don't think it matters so much what tools you use. When I talk about Zoom, when I talk about video conferencing, they're the frosting, they're not the cake. From an investment standpoint, markets change, but they don't change that much. From a human standpoint, as an investment manager, I am going to count on markets doing well over time. I am going to bet on the American and the world economy. I am going to bet on entrepreneurs. And I am going to bet on my clients freaking out on a regular basis. If I can keep them calm, I can win the other bets. And that's my job, to help you, to help your clients, to make sure we all get where we're going. And that's going to be a future job as well as the job it is right now. Here comes the sales pitch. Commonwealth, when FA Magazine used to offer awards for the research departments, we won every year. We've won, I don't know how many J.D. Power awards. Everything we do is devoted to making sure that our future and your future looks like your past. With that, I've been told you're running a little bit late, so if I have a couple of minutes, I'm going to give it back. You're welcome.